Good evening, everyone. Thank you for choosing to spend this evening together with us, be it here in the space of Casa Transit in Cluj, in Romania, or online, hopefully in the comfort of your own homes. This is the moment when we are opening the 2021's edition of the Culture and Wellbeing Forum. This is an event that we started in 2018, trying to explore and engage in conversation with people across the world on their experiences of working with culture and well-being and the effects, hopefully the positive effects, that they can bring to audiences and communities. The forum starts today with the lecture performance by Marc Vilanova. We thank Marc for making the effort of coming to Romania in these kind of troubled times for live events and traveling. Just a few more words about the forum. The forum will mainly take place online tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. The sessions are dedicated to research, artistic experiences, and cultural interventions that all combine art, well-being, and health. On Wednesday, we have also an inspiring keynote by Professor Pierluigi Sacco and the policy discussion, trying to see what is the perspective, what are the next steps to scale up artistic and cultural interventions that have now proven to be effective at small scale. How can they become more effective in terms of policies and structural solutions? Also, on Wednesday, we invite all of you to join us for a networking meeting. We wanted so much to have it live, to be able to drink and laugh together. But we hope that we will be able to also get to be informally together in a joyful manner online. That is to be said about the forum briefly. The forum is the closing event of the Art and Wellbeing Project, which is a Creative Europe funded program benefiting from the support of the European Union, of the Ministry of Culture in Romania, and the Cluj-Napoca municipality. And now I would like to invite on stage Marc. Marc is a Spanish artist working internationally. His work combines artistic research with scientific knowledge and a lot of new technologies. He has dedicated a lot of time to research the invisible sounds, which is also the title of today's lecture performance. Those sounds that are there around us in our environment, but which our biological equipment as humans is not prepared to hear. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity to pass over to the art and the artist and to listen to his lecture and performance.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Marc Vilanova. I'm a sound artist from Barcelona. I'm very happy to be here, and despite all the restrictions, to have some audience, which is really, really nice. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about listening, and then I'm also going to perform. And for me, as a sound artist, I do produce sound, but I'm very much focused on the other end, on listening. And I'm very much interested on listening beyond the physical perception, beyond the perceptible sound. For me, listening, it's an individual disposal of being affected by whatever we want to get close to. And for me, listening has a lot of influence in many ways to our well-being. And to start talking about listening, I would like to engage you in a little experiment, little task. It's very simple. You can do it also at home, and you can do it also later on if you want. And it's very simple. It's just being in silence for maybe, let's say, 2 minutes, and closing our eyes and trying to listen as many sounds as possible in the room. So in a way, sort of listing all the sounds that are happening in this space right now. So after 2 minutes, we can kind of share it. So if you would like to, if not, you don't need to, but it's just being in silence for 2 minutes and just trying to list as many sounds as possible in the room. So. Okay. So I don't know how it was for you there, but it's super noisy room, actually. So there is the drone sound of the water, there is the crack of the wood, there is the cars passing that they produce so many sounds, maybe 10 or something. There was a bus, there are the lines of the bridge where they cross, they make sound. There is air noise from the speakers, a high pitch as well. They also produce a little high pitch. There is some sound from the technical, the cracking of the wood, some chairs, some whispering, some people talking, and some wood crashing over there. So I didn't count it, but maybe you even hear more. Maybe we hear 15 to 20 sounds. And those sounds are all the time here present. So luckily our brain is capable to just just choose which sounds are more important. So you have like an order of prioritizing. So now maybe your brain is choosing my voice because you want to get the meaning of my words, and the other sounds are just not processed by the brain. But those sounds are here present all the time. We have 20, and if we would stay longer listening, we would listen maybe, our ears are opening, and we could hear even 30 or 40 sounds that are here for sure. So those sounds are here, are present all the time. Our brain just doesn't want to listen to them, to process them. But there are also many other sounds that we cannot perceive. There are sounds that are here, that are involving us, and that are surrounding us, and we cannot have access to them. As humans, we have limited senses to perceive nature, and one of them is our audible range. So we can only hear sounds that are between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz, more or less, the lucky ones. Out of this range, we don't hear, but the sounds, there are from many ranges. Other species, other animals have different audible ranges. Actually, I can show a little graphic. You can see we are the purple ones, and other species can hear lower. Lower it's infrasounds, which are low of 20 hertz, like rhinocerons, whales, giraffe, elephants. They can hear lower than us. They can hear like storms really far away. Storms, they produce infrasounds, and they can know where the water is. And they can also communicate through infrasounds. So elephants can speak to each other from really far distance and through using those frequencies. Actually, infrasounds, they are really big waves, and they can travel many kilometers. So an elephant can talk to another elephant in 4 kilometers, for example, and we will be next to it and we won't listen anything, or maybe just the harmonics of the rumble. Above the audible range, it's the ultrasounds that are really high pitches, and some animals like bats, they use it for echolocation. So they produce ultrasounds. Let's say if a bat is flying here, for example, it will produce an ultrasound. The ultrasound will hit the column, will get back to the bat, and then knowing the distance and the time that was the lapse of between producing and receiving, knows that here there is a column and won't fly to there. Also dolphins and whales, they are using those techniques to navigate through a space with sound. When I start researching about infrasounds and ultrasounds and sounds that we cannot hear, like electromagnetisms and so on, I contact many researchers that are studying on those fields. And I was in contact with a group of researchers from the US, and they applied infrasounds to rats that were having epilepsy. So even the rats, they could not hear the infrasounds. They found out that those frequencies were decreasing the amount of disorder in their brains. So it was like a positive effect of the infrasounds to the rats. But in the other end, there is a study in Germany, a group of scientists that they were studying the windmills, like these wind turbines that they produce electricity from the wind. They also produce a lot of infrasounds, really low frequencies that we cannot perceive. And they found out that people living near, that have the house quite near, not close to, but near windmills, they have many problems of sleeping and some problems of stress. And they think that there is a relation between the sound that those windmills are producing and those effects to the citizens. So actually talking with the scientists, they told me like there is not enough research done to have conclusions, real conclusions of how those frequencies are affecting our bodies. For sure they are affecting, for sure they are present, for sure we are in contact with them. We don't listen only with our ears, but we listen also through our skin, through our bones, through our resonate cavities of our bodies. And they affect us, but they have no conclusions of in which way they affect us. Infrasounds and ultrasounds are produced by nature, as I say, like animals can produce infrasounds and ultrasounds, but also like earthquakes and volcanoes eruptions or storms, but also from artificial, from artificial devices, from military or medical or home appliances. And we don't have access to those sounds unless we use technology. And that's what I use. I work. So I have the privilege as an artist to work with technology, and I use it to access realities that we cannot access by ourselves. And I'm going to share like the last three works I did about that. The first one it's called Spike. It was about electromagnetisms, which are like frequencies that electronic devices are sending, like mobiles, computers, the charger, it produces a lot. And there are microphones, coil microphones, that they can catch those frequencies and translate them into sound. So for a month, I was recording all the electromagnetism that were like in contact with me from my daily life, from waking up to going to sleep. And then I developed this installation, which is kind of a shell of a filter, let's say, with 14,000 cables and some LEDs inside. And the composition is all with the recordings I did with living with those electromagnetisms. I can show a video, which maybe explains it better. That's Lemon, that's a spike. I'm used to hear it on the computer always, and I see this bass now. Another work I did is Phonos, is this big sculpture. It's 3 meters high, and there are 208 speakers, and they play infrasounds. So, of course, we cannot hear them, but we see how the speakers move. And because they are really low frequencies, they move really slowly, like kind of a medusa, you know, the animal, jellyfish, sorry. And so there is this kind of collage of speakers, and then there is an algorithm that is like making them move in a way that one speaker is contaminating the next one in a way. So it visualizes the infrasound that we cannot hear, actually. I don't have the video of this piece yet. And as I said, infrasounds can be created and ultrasounds can be created by nature, but also by artificial. And one element that I work in Slovakia for a piece was the fluorescent. And a fluorescent is like something that we all have in our homes and everywhere. And it produces a lot of ultrasounds, actually. And I just bought one in Hornbach yesterday, here. It's not even a fluorescent, it's a LED fluorescent in a way, but also produces ultrasounds. And I'm just gonna make a little experiment where we can see it like a bit more impractical, how that looks. So I have here a little, this is an ultrasonic microphone. It's a microphone that can take really, really high frequencies. So I'm gonna point it here, I'm gonna record, then I'm gonna turn it on, and then we are gonna see if we see something changing, and then I'm gonna stop it. I will leave the microphone. So it's small, but you see that there is a change, but we didn't hear anything. Actually, if we play this, there is nothing. So what we can do is just really basic. We just bring those frequencies down, like we shift them down, to frequencies that we can hear. So this is really high now. We only see it, but we cannot hear it. I just do it really quickly and really dirty. Change. So now we just slow down them. We bring them really down. So then maybe we can hear something. Put this a bit more up. Okay. It's a shitty sound. It's very annoying. But actually that's present every time we turn this on and off. So it's a really easy way to visualize how, or to see how they work. No? I did a piece in Slovakia with many fluorescents that I can show. It's this one. And I record many ultrasounds from different fluorescents, many types. I was just recording, and then the whole composition is based on those recordings. I just slow them down and just put them into frequencies that we can hear, and the music is based on those recordings. The shape of the fluorescence is the waveform of the ultrasound they produce, and it's called Lyman, which means like threshold, or like the boundary between what we can perceive and we cannot, and that's why it has this shape of a line dividing the room. And I can show you a video of it here. This one not. This one. Okay, I think I talk a lot, and I don't like so much to talk. I like to play. So, besides installation work, I also perform. And on performing, I also think a lot on the other end, not just on producing sound, but on the listening experience. And for today, I prepared a little solo. It's gonna last maybe, I don't know, but maybe 20 minutes. And it's based on recordings I did of ultra and infrasounds, electromagnetisms, radio waves, and many frequencies that we cannot hear. So this kind of unknown sounds. I really like to translate, it was really fun actually to translate them into the saxophone, because then for me, I think it opens up the listening experience. For me, it's a little bit like when we listen to a language that we cannot understand, like these days that I was here yesterday and today, that I listen to you speaking in Romanian. I don't know what you are saying, but then I listen much more to the sound that you are producing, what you do with your mouth. I'm listening that. And now that we speak in English and we understand each other, we just focus on the meaning of the words. We just process the meaning and we stop listening what I'm doing with the mouse. Maybe if I do something strange, yes, but if not, we just go into the meaning. And for me, this is something really nice to think when I perform with the instrument, to translate this to the instrument. And this time, like working with those sounds, I think it was possible to just like perform these unknown sounds to the saxophone so we can really focus into the sound itself. So to do that, I use, it's called extended techniques, which are like, we could say like techniques that the saxophone was not built for. It doesn't sound like a saxophone, but I think that's the good thing, that it doesn't refer to the meaning, so you are free to travel wherever you, or to just focus on the listening. The microphone is just to amplify a little bit the sound. There is no processing of electronics. Everything comes from the saxophone. And it has this idea of the unknown sound, these recordings translated to the saxophone and bringing up like a new atmosphere. So I hope you enjoy, and if you have questions afterwards, we can, I don't know, talk and drink and be here. Okay. Sitting down, for me the present is like, it's not the same. I'm just sitting and just playing like that. For me it doesn't arrive as good as when we are like this. For me it's not that hard. Maybe it looks harder than it is. It's just for working with it. Could be seated, but I prefer it. If not, we can also read them with less or more. But if you have less, it doesn't matter.
Anybody else? Questions? Please raise your hands.
I have one more. So
Just one more to give you the microphone.
so the question is, how much does it vary from performance to performance? So, like, do you let it change a lot, or do you try to keep to a very specific set of sounds that you're always trying to reproduce in the same way?
One, because I wanted to base it on recordings of ultrasounding or something. That's why there is a lot of electronic sound and like electricity sound sometimes. It was working. I don't have like fixed solo that I perform. That was the idea of this coming to here to English for the Forumul was to talk about those installations and then try to translate it to something more performative, so we don't have only to talk, it's not boring. So I was very much into electricity sounds, so the recordings are really about drones or electronic things, and it was just how to get this on the saxophone. So actually when you block the saxophone, you get this. So yeah, it changed.
Some of the sounds sound like they're from movie sets. Yeah, do you know if any of the techniques you're using are used for creating like sounds for movies? You don't know. Because it also like closed my eyes and I was like, this definitely works with a sci-fi movie or something.
No, like it could work, yeah. But all these techniques, I mean, it's more like myself that is researching and developing them. You cannot study this anywhere because it's like, actually the instrument is not meant to be used like that, so you won't get this on the conservatoire. I studied classical saxophone, I did all the university degrees and so on, and I never hear about all those sounds. So it was more later on when I started working with more electronics and using technology, I started developing installations, and then I tried to translate this to the saxophone. And here it was more in this electronical. So yeah, I don't think, there are people like jazz players that are doing free jazz, that are kind of these special techniques as well, but a bit more, I would say more loud or more like jazzy, stuff like that. And I don't like that so much, and I like more like maybe to a concept or to like a soundscape that I want to create, and here was about this electrical stuff. But yeah, they can be used for movies for sure, or for whatever. Yes. If some of you are making a movie and needs electronic sounds, I'm here until tomorrow. Yeah, some more questions about the talk, if you want, or we can also have a drink now and meet more informal. Okay, so thank you very much, and see you now.